still focusing on the on the West, or maybe even I guess for nurseries we can just talk about all of the curriculums. What are things that you observe in those other curriculums that you think need to be improved?
I think it's just a continuation of the same conversation. Is understanding what are the needs, what is the purpose, and what are the needs, and how to best meet those needs. Just I did remember something related to what you just brought up around grades. Um, the and the importance of examinations and tests. I think there's a very important role to play on this journey for assessments. I don't think assessments should disappear at all. But again, if you remember, we speak about when you understand the purpose, you use the tools in a very different way. So assessments should be a tool for the people managing the education system to see if it's having the right impact or not. And the result of that is not to then go and classify children into good student, bad student. It's to then say, it's not working for this student. What do I need to do? I'm the adult here. I'm the one designing the system. I'm in control of the system. What do I need to do differently in order to get this student to develop? So, and what's happened with education, somehow these tests morphed into the destination rather than being a tool on the side that you use to see how well am I learning? Is my journey going okay? It became, how do I get a grade? And I'm sure you know this very well. I could enter into a foreign language class, let's say, German, and there's a very big difference between I'm here to learn German and I'm here to get an A in this German class, right? I can hack and find ways to get an A and memorize vocabulary and things like that. And that's very different than learning to speak German. And I think most people would agree the reason I should be in a class, a German language class, is to learn German. And guess what? If you are learning it, you will do well on the assessments. So what we were trying to do with you guys was just make you understand that the grades are not a destination. They're sort of an indicator of how things are going, and are things okay or not. And then, of course, when you're in the system, I think that's valid. We're talking a lot about things that require time to change. So what do you do now? What if someone's listening to this and I'm already in university, I'm in high school? And I think just being aware of these things and shifting your mindset to what is the purpose, what is going on with you, you can go through the current system in a very different way. So if you're the student that while you're learning something, you're asking yourself, hey, why are they teaching it this way? Why should I memorize it that way? What's the point of this? You're doing something very different and much deeper than the one that's just going to class. What's on the exam? Chapter 10 to 13, memorize that and then move on, right? So that's just a word on assessments and grades. When we move into the younger age group, there's something very interesting about this younger age group, and you see that time and time again across different in different from different places, different fields of study and philosophy, religion, etc. Time and time again, you see the importance of the first, 6 to 7 years of life. There's a book, a famous psychology book that says everything happens before the age of 6. Then you have most major religions will say, bring me a child below the age of 6, and will there's an opportunity to get them set in the right direction. And the reason for that is that the neural cement, if I can use that term, is still wet. The mind is super absorbent. The neural pathways are being laid. You're making connections at an incredibly rapid rate. The growth, physical growth of your brain and what's going on inside in that age period is one of the most, it is the most rapid period of development in your life, basically. Yes, you continue to learn and you can always keep, a growth mindset and build new habits, etc. But the pace and the rate in those first 6 years of life, 6 to 7 years, is unlike anything that will come up at any time later. And there are numerous studies. You have longitudinal studies, 40-year studies where personality, character traits observed at the age of 5 and 6, and then you pick up those people decades later, and the same character traits are still there, with an incredibly high correlation. So that's why this age is so critical. Both, and obviously then, if it's so critical, both what the parents do at home, which I would argue is even more critical, but also what happens at school is very important. So what is it that we can do during this phase to best serve the needs of students? So I spoke about those two key phases, do I matter? And this, which is roughly the 0 to 3 period, and the next one, which is how do I do? How there's this desire to work, to do things, to act, to use your hands, and it's a tremendously rich experience if you're provided with the right fertile environment of learning materials, and adults around you who understand how to give you that space and that environment to develop.